go. Okay, welcome everybody. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for getting on. And for those who might be listening to the recording later on, I have had a week of having a cold, and I don't get sick very often, but it's interesting to me. I had so much going on this summer, and I was so happy I was healthy through it all. And then I got this cold about 5 or 6 days ago, and On Guard has been my best friend. On Guard drops, On Guard touch, diffusing On Guard. I just have felt so much support, and it's been a really light cold. So maybe it's helped keep it to being a light cold. But then I was refilling my vitamin containers yesterday. I do it a month at a time. I'm kind of silly. I have this. So this is how I keep my vitamins. I have my morning and my afternoon, and I keep my Lifelong Vitality and my PB Assist, my Terrazyme, and then I take the bone nutrient stuff too. So I was refilling my 4 weeks worth of vitamin containers yesterday, and I remembered that I was low on Lifelong Vitality when I refilled them. And so this last month, I haven't been taking full strength Lifelong Vitality. And I just had to kick myself because maybe that's why I got sick. Maybe I just needed that extra boost there, but I'm refilled and doing great. But thankful for On Guard. And I will probably talk about that a little bit today because there are some great sales. And I just wanted to, let's see if there's a good way I can show you. Unless, are you going to talk about the back to school sales? Okay, I'll wait and let you talk about those. And anybody else have an oil story or some way they've been using the oils to get support that they want to share?
So Val has been having nightmares, she said, of zombies chasing her with knives and glass and guns. What? She's not even on TV like a lot. I mean, so I don't know what's happening, but she does like spooky stuff, and she said it very matter-of-factly, but she was like, I don't sleep well. So we used Time on her last night, and I asked her this morning if she had felt better, and she said, I had nightmares, and this time it was zombies and bunnies, and like, so I'm hoping with time it will work. Or I mean, the other thing is, you know how kids can be like, maybe there was no dream at all, and then you ask them and then they tell you something. So if you have any advice about that, how I can like measure this and get accurate feedback from her.
Interesting. So okay, so this is kind of well, I've told my kids I do it now, but when my kids were little, I would whisper in their ear after they fell asleep, so that would hit their subconscious. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but that's what I do. I would whisper the most positive things in their ear. I would just be saying, you're going to sleep so great. Thank you for being so wonderful to your siblings. I love the choices and the positiveness that you've got in your life. You know, just fill their mind with positivity once they've fallen asleep.
Oh, I love that.
There's an idea for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not sure I would have tried Time. Is Time spent something that's supposed to help people with nightmares? Okay, I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay, well, it's all worth a try because there's so many things that have worked for people that I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So you have to keep us in the loop on that one. So fantastic. Well, we're going to get ready to listen to LeeAnn. And while we talk to LeeAnn about what she's going to talk to us about. I'm going to introduce her in a minute. She's talking about kids today and back to school, but it just timed that I'm also doing an in-person class this Saturday. So if anybody's interested or you have some friends that are interested, please share the word. We'll be making roll-ons. It'll be a make and take meeting where we sit around the table, and I've got some great handouts on roller balls for kids. It's all free. We're just going to be having everybody choose a roller ball bottle to make, and it'll be on focus or their immune system, or we're going to try making some with copaiba that have helped some people with ADHD. So we're going to talk about those things, have some great handouts, and do that in person at my house from 11 to 12 on Saturday. So spread that word. And as I introduce LeeAnn, let's see, haven't been around LeeAnn lot lately because the summertime has pulled us in so many different directions. I have been out of pocket, and all I can say is I'm so happy when LeeAnn's in my life. You're going to love hearing from her today. She has got the knowledge and the experience with the oils and a wonderful attitude of positivity about how the oils can help. And to me, that's half the battle. We have to be using the oils consistently for them to work. And Val and John both do the business with us. John is her husband, and LeeAnn and John both do the business. Val is their daughter, and she is 5 years
doTERRA. She says
old.
she's gonna work at doTERRA.
I love it. But the coolest thing is there's not many children I know who have been a doTERRA baby from the moment they were born. And so LeeAnn is the perfect person to teach this class, as they've been using oils on their 5-year-old from the very beginning. And very excited to hear from you today, LeeAnn. We'll turn time over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Shalene. So let me pull up this slideshow. Remember how to do it. There we go. All right, slideshow's up, Zoom is down. Here we go, share. And yes, this one.
Not seeing anything yet.
Yeah, I was debating. I'm gonna switch my screens around. Oh. All right, I did it. I just want to put it on the monitor so I'm facing you guys and not
Yes.
looking over
Yes,
here.
I know what you mean.
So, like, what is it doing that for? Yes, because that's my #1 monitor. You know what? Oh well. We're just gonna do that. All right.
Yay.
Cool.
Yep, we got it.
Okay, great. So we're gonna be talking about children today. Of course, we're back at school now, so we're gonna be introduced to a lot more germs. And so for that reason, the very first thing I wanted to talk about was supplements, because I believe that is the easiest, simplest, most surefire way to keep your children healthy and keep them in school and not have to take off time from work to go rescue them and then stay home with them. And of course they're feeling bad, like nobody's having fun when that happens. So this is what we give Val. These are the foundation supplements for kids. A multivitamin, it's chewable. It has a watermelon flavor. And so it's 2. Something I didn't know when we started this is that 1 dose is 2 chewable tabs. So, and you can start supplementation at age 2. And if you do that, you would want to take a half dose of all of these things, because they are designed for 4-year-olds and up. So about 4 to 12 is where we'd be giving these. Forever and ever, I just mixed these into a smoothie for Val. It was so much easier. Otherwise, I mean, she's chewing on this chewable thing for a minute and it's got slobber all over it. So she puts it down somewhere and then she may never come back to it, or, you know, someone else finds it and maybe another baby finds it. It's like really not.
So do you
good.
put all 3 of them in a smoothie?
Well, I did for probably for about a year. I did it that way, and I would take the tablets. I have a mortar and pestle. I grind them up. So that was the most like work intensive. You know, I know that that's a barrier for some people to like take the time to do that. But for the smoothies, I bought the smoothies at the store pre-made. So like the Naked Smoothie, the ones that are 100% fruit, right? Not added sugar, that's gonna tank the immune system. So I would buy those pre-made, so that made it fast and easy, accessible. You know, I'm only giving her one a day, so that, I don't know, it's like $6 or $7 for those, the good smoothies, right? For the I don't know if it's like maybe a quart and a half. And but it would last her probably 10 days to do just one per day. And grind up the tabs, put them in there. The PB Assist Junior is the probiotic, and it's already in this pixie stick like form. Some kids just really love it, just want to put it in their mouth. That was weird. She liked the taste, but she would take the tiniest bit and then walk around the house and spill a bunch and set it down somewhere. So even still, I still put that in her smoothie because she does that with it. And then the omega I would also put in there. I stopped doing that after a while because it makes the cup, I use a sippy cup it makes it so oily, it's hard to clean. And she doesn't mind the taste. In fact, she seems to look forward to it. It's a very neutral, I mean, to me, it almost tastes like olive oil or something, like maybe even canola oil, like very neutral. She likes it. So I just spoon it straight to her mouth. But when she was younger, I would put it in there. And that's been really good for her. And what I have noticed is she gets sick a lot less often than all her friends. And I have so many friends who say, like, my kid gets sick every month and I have to take a week off of work to be home with them. And I'm like, wow, especially my friends that have little kids and they're paying, you know, $1,000 to $1,500 a month for preschool, and then they have to take them out and take a week off of work. So these vitamins are going to be substantially cheaper, and you're going to improve the quality of life for yourself and your child. But also super important is the brain development, and these are going to help with that, right? Our kids are growing so much at this time, so this is a chance to heavily influence how they develop. Okay, so now I will move on. Oops, I stopped it. I meant to progress the thing. Okay. And we're back. Yes? We good? I cannot hear you, but I think you said yes.
Sorry, I muted myself so that if people came in, I've got it so it's
yeah.
to tell me when people come in. So I muted myself. Yes, we're
Okay.
we're good.
Great. So sometimes people get surprised or they're hesitating when I talk about oil for kids, essential oils on kids. So we just want to affirm, yes, essential oils can be safe for children. When would they not be safe? Well, number one, if they're not doTERRA, you've got to really look into that company, because there are only a couple other companies that match the quality of doTERRA. They are equally expensive or more. And they're much smaller, so they have much fewer variety of oils to choose from. So doTERRA is going to be the best option for safe oils. What makes the oil unsafe? Well, of course, I mean, if you see rashes and stuff, you're going to be concerned, but things that you might not even know, like if you're using an oil, you're not getting a rash, but you might be harming yourself or your child with pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals. All of those things can be in an essential oil that isn't tested for quality control. So that's super, super important. So that's the biggest thing. Use the right kind of oil. Otherwise, with kids, you will want to dilute the oil. If you're using it topically, make sure that that's how you avoid rashes on the skin, right? And here are some actual dosing tips. So for children, internally, 1 to 2 drops for 1 dose. Probably 1 drop if it's a young child, and probably 2 if they're, I don't know, maybe 8 and up or something like that. So, and then there's a max amount for the 24-hour period. And then topically, it's the same. That's, at least that part of the chart's easy. It's the same for kids internally or externally. And
dermal means topical.
Topical, yeah, dermal. So dermis is the skin. Dermal or topical means applying it to the skin. So don't put oils in your eyes and in your nose and your ears. If you do that, you'll probably only ever do it once because it really hurts. Or, I mean, we've all, actually, a lot of us have done it many times because we get it on our fingers and we forget and get in our eyes. So if you ever put oils on your fingers, give it a good wash with soap. But feet for children, definitely think about using the feet, because sometimes oils can be just too strong for their skin in the normal place you might consider putting it. So if you do experience a rash, it doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't use it for that child. You might want to try a different spot. So with Valkyrie, we have, sometimes when she's gotten sick, she's had a cough or something, we would use a lot of Breathe and On Guard oil that was diluted. We'd use the touch version. So they're already in the roller bottle, it's already diluted, put it right on her chest or put it on her throat. And what we noticed, especially when she was younger, maybe 0 to 2, is that after we used it for maybe a couple days in a row, she'd start to develop a rash. It was too much for her in the same place. So what we did instead, we started rotating the site. So we might do it on the chest one time and then on the back one time. And that solved our problem. Feet is just a great solution for that too. The skin tends to be tougher, and I have not seen anyone get a rash on the bottom of their foot so far. But diluting is important, and some people need more dilution than others. Some kids will still need more dilution than others. So that's another thing you can always try is, if you've diluted it and you're still having trouble, dilute it further. And essential oils are very, very powerful, and 1 single drop in a 10 ml roller filled the rest of the way with fractionated coconut oil, that can still be very powerful for a baby. And by powerful, I mean useful, and it's going to do the job it needs to do, but it will be a good dilution for them. Generally, my dilutions, I use about, in a 10 ml roller, about 20 drops for an adult, 10 drops for a teenager, 5 drops for a kid and 2 drops for a baby. Okay, I just keep halving it. And that's a good starting point. And then depending on the person, you might need a little more, a little less, but
Yeah, can I jump in? Last week, we talked about putting a drop of Melissa on the top of a roof of your mouth. And I've never heard of anybody having a hard time with that, but I got a phone call from one of the friends that attended the class that day, and she'd gone right to do it, and it was too much for her. And you know, she's a little bit older than I am. So just be aware, we all are different. And we're giving you the best advice we can, but you still have to be sensitive to your own needs or the people that you're sharing the oils with.
Yes, that's a great point. So you're going to already want to consider dilution for kids and babies, also for anyone immunocompromised and anyone elderly. So that's kind of like a starting point for dilutions, and then you may have to experiment with it. Cool. All right, so, and we want to just be careful about putting any citrus oils on our skin before we go out in the sun. That's really important timing right now, at least here in Texas, where it's super, super bright and hot. So 12 hours after applying a citrus oil. What this means is usually if you're going to apply citrus oil to your skin, you just might want to put it somewhere that's not going to be exposed, right? So put it under where your shirt would cover or your pants or something, on the bottoms of your feet, right? So let's see. So this is the first set of oils. So most importantly, do the supplements, because when you do the supplements, you don't have the symptoms that require you to use the oils so often. That is true. But when you do need the oils, there's the kids collection. I really love this diagram, and I don't know if you can read the words. Are they too small?
You can see them.
Okay, so the diagram tells you what each one of these oils can do. It does leave off one of them, the newest one called Tamer. Tamer is a tummy tamer. So that is one that we use on Val so much, because she has this thing where she will overeat stuff she likes. Happens with hamburgers, happens with party food, which happen like at daycare, they'll have these birthday parties and stuff, and she'll come home with this giant bag, like goodie bag of candy. And it took me 2 or 3 times before I realized, like, she can't handle it, because she gets in the car, we drive 5 minutes, and she throws up, and it's awful. So anytime I see her come out with the goodie bag, I'm like, oh, I need the Tamer, and I put that on her before we get in the car, and then we're good, and we don't have any problems. And that's just, she's been better about it. She's grown out of it a little bit, but man, it's still very good, important go-to oil.
And Tamer is one that adults use a ton. I mean, the adults can use any of these, but I have many people that prefer Tamer over Digest-Zen.
Me included. It smells so much better. It smells like spearmint. It's refreshing. Digest-Zen smells more like fennel or licorice. So Tamer's fantastic. And you bring up a really good point. So they designed this collection for kids. There's a few different things that make it different for kids. So originally we had the Touch collection, which were roller bottles that were diluted of the regular top 10 oils, the first aid kind of oils. And those were people were using for kids before this kids collection was created. Those are great, and you could totally use them for kids. I use them as an adult all the time also, but they designed these with more subtle smelling oils because kids have a stronger sense of smell usually. So it's less difficult for them to deal with the smells. And they're also diluted. Not sure about the dilution ratio compared to the adult touch oils. But what else? There was one other thing I was going to say. Well, anyways, that is a big part of it. So in here we have Brave. Guess what it does, right? Helps with feelings of fear. That's another thing I love about doTERRA is they label all of the oils, all the blends, so that you know what they actually do. And so that kids can easily identify what they need in the moment. So this is a very empowering tool for kids. Steady. So that might be addressing some more anxious type feelings. Rescuer is kind of like a deep blue version for kids. Great for bumps and bruises, for growing pains. For, I even use it directly on scrapes and stuff, on open wounds. It can disinfect. It does not sting when you put it on open wounds. So it's great. When Val was like 18 months, I used that constantly. 12 months, 18 months, yeah. What else? Stronger. Stronger is a lot like On Guard. It's the immune building one. So anytime you have a cough or cold, congestion. Thinker helps you think and focus, a lot like In Tune is the version for adults. We've been using this recently. I put it on the piano because it's the most difficult thing to get through an entire piano practice. Maybe I can get some tips from you, Shalane.
I didn't know she was taking piano.
Yes, so her grandma is teaching her, and it's like the longest half hour, you know.
Get her to focus. Yeah.
Yeah, and half hour, it's a long time for a 5-year-old, but so anyways, Thinker's just right there. And at first she didn't want to use it. I don't need oils. You know, she goes back and forth. She loves oils. She's like, doesn't need oils. But then I was like, I'm just gonna put this on the piano and I'll wait and see. And then the next day she just picked it up and used it. Like, I'm gonna do piano now. Like, okay. Yeah, I taught her to put it right here on the back of her neck and do the help the brain stem focus, calm down, all that. Calmer is another great one for calming, obviously, but also really great in the first aid sense for anything skin related. You can also use it on boo-boos for pain and disinfecting, but ant bites, burns, anything like that, it's going to be great. So I carry that one in my purse all the time, along with Tamer. And okay, so this is the sale that's happening right now, and the sale goes through this Friday, August 25th. 20% off of these things. Now, I am just going to point out that I put on the list, and the list I made to the right are just additional things we hadn't really talked about that that apply to this topic. In Tune is not on sale, but I put that in there. It's another option that might be relevant instead of Thinker. Maybe if you have a teenager too, or if sometimes it's just about like, what smell do you prefer? And you're gonna have a better experience if you prefer the smell and it's targeting the issue. So Adaptive, this is a really popular one for teenagers. help them with school, help them with any anxiety they might be feeling about school, either socially and their peers or about academics. So the capsules are great, very calming. There's also the roller if they like the smell, and the oil that can be diffused. So 2 of those are on sale. And Motivate. Anyone needs a motivation
Love it.
for school. And then all of these On Guard products to keep us healthy.
But I went on to order my soap, my hand soap, and it's the sale is no more on the hand soap. The big hand.
Oh, it's sold out.
Yeah, I'm really sad because I was
Dang.
going to stock up.
Dang.
I know.
And questions.
So I have one question. I've heard that your kids get sick. It's part of building their immune system, and it's okay. I mean, it's just I know I got sick because my grandson sneezed in my face and he had a cold. I'm like, they get sick this time of year. It's more because they're back in school, they're around other people. But isn't that just part of life for kids? I mean, just, I don't know.
I agree with that. I mean, it really probably depends how the life differs between summer and what is it called in school. But also they're like in classrooms all day inside, and in summer a lot of times they're outside, they're running. You know, that's part of health too, is being active. And so that can lower our immune system, just sitting around a lot, right? Yeah, it's complicated.
Becky, did you have a thought?
I think that stress can sometime, and I just see I was unmuted. I'm sorry if I was making
Nope,
noise.
you weren't. You weren't.
Okay, good. I think stress too, just the simple stresses of life and being back in school, and the pressure of academic performance and seeing friends and trying to get used to new things, all of that affects the immune system and drives it down.
Yeah.
So to be alert to those kinds of things. And that's where, as you were mentioning, sleep, good deep sleep comes into play. Being able to decompress and rest and be affirmed, and all those things that you do as great parents, I think are all important. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. LeeAnn, thanks for a great class. Wonderful things to cover. A couple more days of the back to school sale, and class at my house this Saturday at 11 to learn some more and make some hands-on rollers. And we will take advantage of your dilution chart. Thank you, LeeAnn. And then next week, I will be talking about our metabolism and metabolism support. Then we'll be taking a couple weeks off for convention. And then I'm doing something different after that. So stay tuned in the newsletter. Jolene and I are going to teach, team teach a course of 8 classes in a row. And we've done a lot of, well, she's done a lot of research. She has done a great deal to prepare for this. And she and I are going to team teach some great information in an 8-week block. Kind of something that you can learn these pillars that you need for using oils in your life, but also we have a gift for those that check off going to each of the 8 classes or watching the recordings. So keep that in mind. Things are going to go a little bit different this fall, and we hope to see you next week. Thanks,
LeeAnn.
Thanks.
I have a question.
Yes, Diane.
Before everybody leaves, I was wanting to confirm what I thought I heard in John's presentation. Did he say that it is important to take turmeric for cognitive ability?
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think so too. I use it for inflammation reasons. But turmeric.
Yeah, I heard it was supposed to be really good for joints and all of that, because inflammation.
Yeah.
But I thought he had said, like, it sounded like he was emphasizing it, that it was very important if you have cognitive problems to take turmeric.
Yep. Well, I would, LeeAnn, do you remember?
Well, I don't know that I actually attended, but
yeah, and I know I did, but I don't remember the detail enough. So
I did a quick Google search right now. And
yeah,
it's The first thing I see on Google says over 18 months, memory and attention improved in subjects taking curcumin. Which
There
is
you go.
one of the ingredients, right?
Yeah, and maybe
It
LeeAnn could,
helps with the prevention of cognitive decline and dementia.
sounds good.
Wonderful. I
Yep.
have one other quick question.
Yeah,
I sent my cousin a bottle of lemongrass because she has high cholesterol. And I said, just put it on the bottom of your feet every night. But it caused a rash on her feet.
so interesting after. So I always dilute lemongrass as strong as well. And so I would definitely dilute it if you're going to put it on a regular basis.
Well, that's what I told her, and I
Yep.
haven't heard back from her whether it made a difference, but I just thought I'd
And,
see if you
and
guys had suggestions.
the one person that I know of that was about 65 when she did this about 3 years ago that used it on a regular basis, she said her numbers went down dramatically, and she's on statin, and she said my doctor was shocked that my numbers went down. She said my feet are a little yellow, but it was worth it.
Yeah, this cousin is 80, so
Yeah, yeah. So good luck with that. Hope that works out. Maria, glad you got on. I'll send you the recording. We're just saying goodbye. And
Also, they could take it internally, yeah?
you could. And I had actually I actually been doing some Instagramming lately, and I made a little video, like short, like 10-second video on lemongrass and cholesterol, and it went viral, people. I'm now an Instagram viral person. It's been viewed over I think my daughter said 8,000 times. It's been shared hundreds of times. I've got 100 new followers on Instagram. I'm like, wow, one little video and it did all that. So I got to figure that out, how to do some more of that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the questions coming back have been, can you just use it internally instead of topically? Now, the people, I've used it topically for ligaments and cholesterol, but I haven't used it internally and have a person that's done it that has the experience, but I can't see why it wouldn't work.
I'm sure.
would you just put a drop in water or put it in capsules?
Yeah, I think you could do it either way, depending. Lemongrass is pretty strong. So yeah,
Shalene, I haven't told you this. This is Shalene's brother-in-law this happened to, but I probably should have mentioned this to Shalene. But he tried lemongrass for one thing, and I can't even remember what it was. We were so new, this was years ago, to doTERRA. He put it in a capsule for something, and then he came back 20 minutes later and he said, my pain is gone.
yeah.
And it helps his arthritis. It helps he probably did take it for his cholesterol.
Yeah.
But he's gotten so used to it now that he just drops it in a drink of water
Yeah.
and drinks.
Again, some people are going to be
But
okay with
it's
that,
so
and some are going to
sweet.
say,
I feel the tingling in my lips when I'm dropping it in the water for him.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Something else. Every person's different. Diana, I'd have her experiment with what's good for her.
Well, thanks.
All right. Thanks for getting on, everybody.
Oh, wait, Maria, I think she wants to say something.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Maria.
Did have a little, I apologize, I'm late, but I had a question since we're talking open topics.
Yeah.
As far as high blood pressure, I know we're talking cholesterol. I've seen some people had success with lifelong vitality. Do you have any other recommendations? And how about someone who has previously had Lyme disease that it seems to like flare up if it's warm?
Interesting.
So
Okay.
lemon is the oil, right? For high blood pressure.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I know some people that have a little mixture they take internally in a capsule that works. It's ylang ylang and what
Oh,
am I
yeah.
gonna say it, lavender.
Ylang-ylang.
Okay.
Let me find it and I will text it to you because I think it's even in the book. And the Lyme disease, golly, I would say lifelong vitality to get their body in order. And I might even also suggest MetaPower to help the body regulate.
Yeah, he's on MetaPower, so I'm just
Okay.
getting him on the lifelong vitality as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
Sounds
would be the
good.
simplest solution, I think. Just start with and go from there.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Let me see. High blood pressure is it's my brother that said he had medicine that he took and that this oil combination helped him better than the medicine that he was given from the doctor. I'm not supposed to say that, but the oils worked very well for him in keeping his blood pressure down. And so let's see. Yeah, I can't find it. I'm gonna have to find it and text it to you. Ah, here it is. Here it is. Sorry, I just found it. Okay, so it's basil, clary sage, lavender, marjoram, and ylang ylang. But I don't think he did the clary sage. I think he said he used basil, lavender, marjoram, and ylang ylang. But it was just a drop each in a capsule and taking it every day.
Okay.
All right.
Give it a shot. Thank you so much.
I just love talking to all of you. Have a wonderful week and we hope to see you next time.
Bye-bye.
guys.